Oh, good. I made it to the rainforest. Now I just have to find where those idiots parked our ship, the USCSS podcast. I bet they're thirsty. Although sometimes I wonder why I'm trying so hard to find those jerks and make sure they stay hydrated.
'Cause some damn fool accused you of being the best.
Sports drink bot, you son of a bitch. Why are you out here in the rainforest, sports drink bot?
When I was little, we found a man. He looked like dry. The old women in the village crossed themselves and whispered crazy things, strange things. El Diablo Hacedor de Pasas de Hambre. Only in the hottest years this happens, and this year it grows hot. We began finding our men. We found them sometimes with headaches, and sometimes much, much worse. El que hace pasas de los hombres means the demon who makes raisins of men.
Alright.
Anyway, Coolerbot, I've seen your ship. It landed about 3 miles that away. Honestly, I'm a little worried that you didn't see it. It's huge.
Oh, that's because I forgot my glasses. Like water glasses.
Oh, I get it.
Well, thanks for the help, sports drink bot. Smell ya later.
Anytime.
Welcome to Expendable Assets. I am Alabama Tick Hallstrom.
And I am son of a bitch Rohrbacher.
And we are an elite commando rescue squad sneaking our way into the Predator franchise just this week.
Nice. Well, not just this week. We've done Predator stuff before, but...
Well, just this week.
Fair. Can't argue with that, I suppose.
Yeah. How's it going, Kenny?
Oh, I'm all right. Just chilling. You know how it goes.
Long time no talk.
Yeah, it's been a while. I can't even remember the last time we recorded. Dang.
It's been less than 24 hours.
It sure has.
You know what I've done in that 24 hours?
No.
You know how I talked last time about how it's been rough for me watching movies? Well, I took that migraine pill yesterday, and it really got me feeling straight. So I watched Predator. We're talking about Predator, guys.
Yeah. Like 1987, John McTiernan, Arnie, etc.
Yeah, we're talking Predator. And then I was like, what else can I watch while I'm feeling good? I got to really take advantage of this because it's been a while. So I watched Hatchet and Hatchet 2.
All right. I haven't seen either of them, but all right.
Yeah, don't. They're not very good.
Okay, fair. I mean, I seem to recall hearing that the first one wasn't terrible, so it's funny to hear that turns out actually it is.
It's not. I won't say don't watch them, but for 2006 they're very 2006 slasher movies, if that makes sense.
I got you. It does.
Very over the top, gross. The killer in them is very, very overly designed, grotesque.
For sure.
The acting is pretty bad across the board. The story is poorly thought out and executed.
Hell yeah.
The films are very short, so not a lot happens for an hour, and then a lot of kills happen in the last half hour, and I'm talking about both movies. They're
right.
the same.
Gotcha.
And
All right.
I wasted my time. Sorry to all the Hatchet fans out there.
I gotta say that is a surprising turn, considering from someone that has watched Jason Goes to Hell multiple times.
Yeah, but I don't like Jason Goes to Hell, and I feel like that is the most
fair.
apt Friday the 13th comparison to these movies would be the Jason Goes to Hells. Okay,
Fair.
Will I watch Hatchet 3? Yeah. Will I watch Victor Crowley, the sort of reboot, like later sequel? Yeah, I'm gonna watch that too. I'm gonna finish the fight.
I mean, you may as well. You're already halfway done.
I'm not in a rush, but yeah, I'm gonna close out. They do something interesting, which is the movies end in the middle of like an action. You know how like the Friday the 13th, the early ones end with like a shock twist ending where like in the first movie, the boy jumps out of the lake and grabs the girl and pulls her into the lake. But then we get a hospital scene afterwards where she's like, he's still out there. But they do like that shock ending at the end where like Jason busts through the window or whatever.
Yeah.
Well, this does that without then the after scene where you're like, was that real or was it a dream? It just does it with like the shock scene.
Got it.
And then the sequel picks up immediately at that scene. So it's
that's fun.
When you're watching the movie, it ends very abruptly, and then the next one picks up right away. So you don't feel like you're getting the whole, like you feel like you're getting the whole movie, but you also don't. And that's what's going to make me watch the rest of Hatchet 3, which I did watch the first 5.5 minutes of last night. And then I was like, what
just
am
so
I
you
doing?
could see. Just so you could see how that shock ending finishes out. I see. Gotcha.
Basically, yeah. So
I got you.
It's a fun little novelty, but these will not be. These are ones that I'm going to cross off the list and then never go back to.
Nice.
Yeah.
Good work.
Yeah, and boy did I waste some movie watching time on these.
Yeah, well, it's all right. They can't all be winners, I suppose.
Back to my bad habits. Yeah.
He's gonna go back and watch Conquest for the 6th time.
I really want to. I've really been thinking
Of course
about
you.
Of
Course
Kombat
you have.
Conquest.
I know you have. That's why I said it.
Oh man.
That's why that was my example show. Of course, that's the one you're gonna fucking watch.
Yeah. You guys want to hear me talk about Mortal Kombat Conquest? Go to look at my other show, MK Podcast, where Corey and I watched Mortal Kombat Conquest twice.
And I kept pitching excuses for you guys to watch it a 3rd time on the show, and Corey kept saying no.
Yeah, and what you don't know is behind the scenes, I've also done the same thing, and we've gotten we've joked about it enough times that the joke starts to get a little real, and then we're like, we can't though, can we? We can't do it now. We got to wait a little while.
It would be funny if you did just do it now, like you declared that like the show was over, and then all of a sudden it comes back, so you can talk about the show for a 3rd time on the podcast.
Yeah, too soon.
Anyway. A good bit though.
Yeah. But yeah, I didn't just watch Hatchet. As I said, I also watched 1987's Predator.
You know, it's funny because by sheer coincidence, so did I. I also watched Predator last night.
Yeah, I watched it last night in full, and then I watched it again in full this morning. I had it on while I was prepping for the show,
Nice.
Doing it, so I've effectively seen it twice.
I just watched it the once, so. I've seen it before, but since we decided we were going to cover it on the show, I've only watched it the once.
And I gotta say, it's been so long since I've engaged with Predator media. It did remind me of a few things that had slipped. Things that sort of made our last episode on the first AVP comic, I think, a little better. Not that I was mad at it or anything, but it did give me a better understanding of just the monster in general, right? Reminded me of a few things. And made in that episode all of the conversation about like reliance on technology and everything stand out a bit more because of just how much the goddamn Predator needs to rely on technology.
Yeah, he
Right.
sure does. He really does, like, a lot. That's true.
Yeah, and it's something that's always kind of made me think like, oh, these fucking guys, like the shoulder cannon that auto targets and all of this stuff, and that thing just looks wherever he's looking and fires away. Like, that's kind of silly. But then, like, I'll just say it now, we get the Predator straight up standard vision at the end of the movie. These guys are fucking blind without those masks. They really do
Yeah.
need that shit.
Yeah,
Yeah.
they at the very least need the masks to be able to see, yeah.
And you get like one cut on those guys and you can track them anywhere, right? Because they just
Yeah.
bleed glow stick goo.
That's true.
Which I knew that. I hadn't forgotten about the glow stick goo, but I had kind of forgotten about just how blind these guys are, at least how they're portrayed in this movie without their masks on. And I was like, okay, some of this I can forgive, but then some of it also, you sure are leaning on that arm cannon a lot, buddy. This really is kind of quail hunting with a shotgun a little bit.
Yeah, it's there were multiple times in the movie where I was like, you shot that dude with a cannon while hiding and being literally invisible from him.
Yeah.
How is this considered, quote, hunting, you know?
Yeah, and that reminded me of the conversations from the AVP issue 0 about hunting, right? So it's, you know, it's I think part of the reason I have a complicated sort of like and kind of disinterest in the Predator monster, which we'll get into as we talk more about this 1987 science fiction action adventure classic.
Mm-hmm.
You want to go through some credits first?
Sure.
All right. This movie was directed by John McTiernan, famously the director of Last Action Hero.
Very famously, yes.
Yeah. Was that the best credit I could pick for him? Was that the funniest one?
I mean, I don't think I even knew that he directed it, so to me, yes.
Famously the director of Rollerball, the remake.
Oh, the remake. Okay, I don't think I even knew that.
Yeah. John McTiernan, of course, his big movie after this one was Die Hard. His first movie was Nomads, a movie I have not seen. He did Predator in 1987, Die Hard in 1988, Hunt for Red October in 1990. He was just off to the races after that, right?
For sure.
Pretty fantastic director. I'm a fan of pretty much everything he's made that I've seen. Die Hard with a Vengeance, etc. The movie was written by Jim and John Thomas, brothers.
Mm-hmm.
It was first titled Hunter, and I guess it was originally about like a group of extraterrestrial hunters, you know, instead of just a solo one. The movie got rewritten a few times.
All right.
But they're listed as the main credited writers, and I think maybe they are the ones who handle the rewrites. I'm not clear on all of those details, and people probably don't really care.
That's fair.
And it stars, of course, Arnold Schwarzenegger as the main guy. I think we'll go through.
It sure does.
We'll go through the cast a little more as we go through the characters in a little bit here.
Works for me.
Jim Thomas, the writers, also wrote. Jim and John Thomas also worked on the Will Smith, Kevin Kline classic Wild Wild West.
Mm-hmm. Jim West, Desperado.
Mm-hmm. Yes.
Yeah. Wiki Wild Wild West.
You know it. Should we just kind of work through the characters first, and then and then kind of get into our general thoughts about the story?
Works for me.
All right. I want to start first with Shane Black.
Yeah, that's also where I was going to start off, actually.
Okay. Shane Black cast as Hawkins. He was an interesting choice because the producers had a sort of secret reason for casting him in the movie. And it was that they wanted him available to punch up the script if necessary.
All right, fair.
Like during filming. And Shane Black did not want to do that. He didn't like that idea. So basically he said that his two contributions to the script were his characters to his two big pussy jokes.
Big Sopranos fan, that guy, I see.
Uh, and he was like, yeah, I didn't want to rewrite the script, especially not while we were shooting. I didn't think that was right. He's like, I came up with these 2 jokes and that was it. And then the producers were like, yeah, so we killed him 7 minutes into the movie.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, I thought it was really funny that his 2 like major contributions to the franchise were being the worst, most annoying character in the first movie, and then later making the worst movie in the series.
Making what is certainly considered and arguably is the worst movie in the series. Shane Black came back to the franchise to get his revenge years later with The Predator.
He sure did. 2018, The Predator, baby. That he sure did do that. That's correct.
Yeah. Yeah, really not crazy about his character. Not crazy about Hawkins. He doesn't do much except make those 2 jokes.
Yeah, he sure doesn't. And then he gets his ass fucking killed.
Yeah, just absolutely wrecked. First up, we've got Richard Chavez as Poncho, who survived really far into the movie and didn't seem like the kind of character who would, right?
Yeah, I think he is the last character in the movie to die, not counting the Predator.
Yes. Yeah,
I think he is, yeah.
He gets injured though. He gets whacked by that giant log.
Yeah, he sure does.
And gets pretty fucked up. I really liked his character. I thought he was pretty great. He was sort of like everyone else in this, I mean, not that he's not, but everybody else minus Shane Black, all the other characters who survive through most of the movie are like so just like massively manly and everything.
They're extremely masculine, yes.
And he just seemed kind of normal.
Yeah, it's funny you say that because I actually really liked him too as a character. I wasn't really expecting to because he was like going into the movie, because I'd seen this once before, but it was like a good few years ago and I hadn't really thought about it much since.
Yeah.
And so going into it, I kind of forgot the character existed. Like, I remembered everyone else because I remembered all of the big huge manly men, and then I remembered Shane Black's character just because of how much he sucked. But like,
right,
Poncho and Billy, I totally forgot they were even in the movie. And then while I was watching the movie, I was like, I don't know what it is about Poncho, but he's really starting to grow on me, and he might have been my favorite character by the time the movie was over.
Unbelievable that you forgot about Billy. I cannot believe you forgot about Billy, but we'll get to that. He's done a lot of small roles, movies, TV shows, etc. And then he had a credit on a War of the Worlds TV show from 1988 to 1989. He had 25 episodes. And then a number of single appearances in small movies. After that, Babylon 5, Days of Our Lives, 4 episodes, etc. So
this is probably the biggest thing that he did.
Working actor type of guy, right?
I got you.
Yeah, I dug him though. Yeah, Poncho ended up being probably my favorite character as well. I don't know, it just seems the most relatable, right?
Yeah, I mean, he's just like a normal guy, and he's acting like he's responding to the situations in a way that felt like a normal, real person actually would.
Yeah, I did. I had the same kind of, just like you, I didn't forget he was in the movie, but in my head, I sort of conflated him and Shane Black's characters.
Poncho isn't like an over-the-top caricature like most of the other characters are, so it's easy to forget that he's here because he doesn't feel big like the rest of them do,
Right. But you know who does feel big?
Well, there's I'm gonna say there's 4 different people you could be about to say, so.
Sonny Landham as Billy.
All right, that's fair.
The other guy you forgot about.
The other guy I forgot about, yeah.
This is a complicated man. Boy, apparently he had such a hot temper and was known for having such a hot temper and getting kind of aggressive on shoots that they hired a bodyguard to follow him around and make sure that he wasn't causing trouble on set.
All right.
He He started his career in pornography films. Is that how we say that?
All right.
Pornography films. How old am I?
Yeah,
Jesus Christ.
I've also never heard the word before, so probably.
He had roles on the A-Team, Miami Vice, a lot of television roles prior to this, a lot of them afterwards. He's had a troubled life, I'll say. You know, he had some legal troubles where apparently he had, trying to put this delicately, was harassing his wife or his ex-wife and served a short prison sentence for it, but then eventually that was overturned, I believe, and he was set free.
All right.
Some medical condition late in life caused him to lose both of his legs. He passed away in 2017, so we have lost him. Just a complicated and troubled sort of life, but a very, I think, compelling actor and a compelling presence on screen.
Yeah, I really liked him in this movie. I don't know
Yeah.
off the top of my head that I've seen him in anything else. But yeah, like after I started watching the movie and he showed up, I was like, oh yeah, shit, that's right. I forgot about this guy. I like the moment I saw him, I was like, oh yeah, that's right, Billy. And then while I was watching through the movie, I was like, yeah, actually, I'm vibing with this guy. I'm really liking this character a lot too.
You don't remember him as pool worker number 2 in Poltergeist?
I've never seen Poltergeist, so no, I don't.
I don't remember him from Poltergeist. I don't think I've seen it either. Yeah, and I just want to say, like, as compelling of a performance as he gave us, I don't think that excuses any terrible behavior in real life.
For sure.
Or on set. Just like we don't give Jared Leto a pass, we're not going to give Sonny Landham a pass for that either.
That's right.
Yeah, and also he's a better actor than Jared Leto.
That's for damn sure.
Yeah.
Jared Leto can get fucked.
But Billy was a very fascinating character. Billy plays sort of the Native American tracker of the group, which
he sure does.
Feels very stereotypical, right?
Yeah, that is correct.
And he has a history of playing a lot of Native American characters. I believe he has, Native American, heritage.
Well, that's good at least.
Yeah. But he was, Billy's a very fascinating character in this movie. And the only really off-screen death that we get as well.
Yeah, I think so, yes.
Yeah.
There is a shot of him near his end of the movie that is like maybe a top 3 shot of the entire movie for me. I really liked it a lot.
Okay. Well, let's talk about it in more specifics later. Let's get through the last few of these credits. We've got Jesse Ventura as Blaine, right?
We do, yeah.
One of the only or maybe one of the few cast members with actual military experience. I believe he was a Navy SEAL.
Another guy that turns in a good performance that in his personal and professional life is a complicated dude.
Sure, yes. Interesting. I like that he, in the same year, had worked with Arnold on The Running Man, which is, I believe, Arnold Schwarzenegger recommended him to casting for this role.
Mm-hmm.
Because they had worked together, like, just previously.
I got you.
He was the governor of what? Minnesota?
Minnesota, yeah, I believe.
For a while. Professional wrestler.
Mm-hmm. Jesse the Body Ventura.
Just eating chewing tobacco by the handful.
He sure is. Yeah.
My God.
He definitely is doing that in this movie, yes.
Yeah. Yeah, he's Jesse the fucking Body Ventura. What are we going to say about him, right?
Yeah, he's fucking Jesse Ventura. What else are you going to say?
And then Bill Duke plays his in-movie BFF Mac.
Dude, Bill Duke fucking rocks. Every time he shows up, I'm like, yes.
Yeah, he was really laying it on, man.
I love Bill Duke so much. He's so good in this role. I cannot get over how like malleable and like expressive his face is.
Yeah, he really just chews the scenery.
And it's like his character is like like the way the character is written and the way he plays him, he's not like superimposing like personality wise, but he's just so huge of a guy that the
Yeah.
character just comes off as very imposing because of that, you know?
Yes.
It rules. I love it.
He worked with Arnold on Commando
Mm-hmm.
a couple years
right.
prior. He played Trask in X-Men The Last Stand, 2006.
I don't remember that, but I have seen the movie.
Sure. I think that's one that a lot of us only watched the one time.
Yeah.
Right. He was in Menace to Society. He was a detective in that. He's a fantastic actor. Very long career. Great in this. He was probably my second favorite character after Poncho, right? Just because he steals the scene, good or bad, every time he shows up, right? Sometimes I felt like he was laying it on a little too thick.
Every single time he starts dry shaving his already shaved face, I cringe because I'm like, bro, you're gonna cut yourself.
Yeah.
And then he does cut himself, and I was like, I told you.
That was a character tick that he brought. He was like, I'm going to have my character do this. And they were like, okay, cool. We'll rig up a special razor that can cut you when it's time. That'll squirt blood, you know. But that was something that
Cool.
he brought in. And I loved his relationship with Blaine, right? With Jesse Ventura's character. That they were like a duo, you know.
Mm-hmm.
It was very fun. So when Blaine eats it, he's like taking it the hardest, you know, and just
For sure.
kind of
Sure.
snaps at that point. He's like really holding it together until that moment, and then we're like watching him sort of lose it.
Yeah, he does slowly start to get a little bit more insane every time he shows up after that.
Yeah. We've got Elpidia Carrillo as Anna,
Yep.
the insurgent that they sort of rescue from this camp that the commandos were going into, quote unquote, rescue hostages from.
She ends up being the hostage they rescue, yeah.
Yeah, she's the woman in the movie.
Yeah, she's the one girl in the movie, that's correct.
The only one.
Yep.
She has I believe, an uncredited cameo in Predator 2.
Mm.
She might be credited. She's credited on IMDb, but I believe in the actual movie it's uncredited. And I someone will correct us if I'm wrong. I believe they are like watching video of her being interviewed about what happened, the events of this movie, right?
Gotcha.
Something like that. She had a lot of, again, sort of television credits, Miami Vice, 21 Jump Street, a lot of Spanish language programming as well, films or movies. I thought she was really great too. I thought she had that fantastic monologue that I borrowed for the opening of the show.
Yeah, you sure did do that, yes.
Yeah, I think she delivered it great. And I think the reveal of her, you know, that she has been understanding them and speaking English the entire time was pretty fantastic. That
shot when Dutch is like, "Come on, answer me," and Dylan in the back is like, "Nah, she can't." And then she starts talking in English. The look that Carl Weathers gets on his face is fucking priceless. He absolutely sells like the what the hell?
Yeah, I think
it's very funny.
Her performance was great, acting scared and everything throughout the movie was excellent
for sure.
And the movie needed her, right? Like if this was just like this group of dudes crawling through the jungle, it would have been a little less interesting.
Fair.
Yeah. Then speaking of Carl Weathers, speaking of Dylan, Carl Weathers plays Dylan. It was awkward, but hey, I got there. Apollo Creed. Right.
He sure is. He sure the fuck is. He is the hugest a guy has ever looked on screen in this movie.
He is gigantic.
He's so fucking big, dude. He's so huge in this movie. It's so fucking funny.
There's a old, I don't know if it was Saturday Night Live or Mad TV sketch where Carl Weathers as himself he's playing himself and he's running for mayor. And his whole platform is vote for me because I was also in Predator.
Hell, I'm sold.
which was it was right after Arnold Schwarzenegger was governor, elected governor of California, and he's like it was just a fun little sketch. Where
That's a good bit. I like that.
It would have been a nice, internet skit if it happened when the internet was a thing.
For sure.
A funny little connection here. Apparently, the writers of the movie, the brothers Thomas, kind of got this idea. Somebody made a joke about how ridiculous the Rocky movies were getting, and they were like, "What's going to happen next? Rocky's going to end up fighting an alien from space," and they were like, "Whoa."
Perfect idea. Let's have it be Apollo though instead.
Yeah, so they kind of wrote a movie. I mean, it's obviously not Rocky fighting an alien from space, but that's the genesis of the idea for Predator. Was what if Rocky was thinking about how ridiculous the Rocky sequels were getting? So
that's fair.
Yeah, Carl Weathers was great in this too, as kind of the outsider of the group who's got to go on this mission with them, and he's maybe got ulterior motives.
Yeah, he sure maybe does.
And now we got our big boy, right?
Yeah, also the hugest anyone has ever looked on screen.
Arnold Schwarzenegger as Dutch.
Mm-hmm.
This might be my favorite of his performances, right?
All right.
He gets a lot of, everyone's like, well, you cast him as the Terminator because he's so robotic and he can't act and all that kind of stuff, right? And I think in the Terminator movies, especially Terminator 2, he's performing absolutely, right? Like that is...
Oh yeah, for sure. I actually think, especially back in his heyday, in his prime, I actually think he's a pretty good actor.
Yeah, but people could watch the Terminator movies, his other big hits, and be like, well, he's just playing a robot. He's just being stiff and this and that. You can't argue if you watch him in this movie that he is a good actor. Like he very much is giving a good performance in this. And I haven't I've seen a lot of his films. I don't think I've seen every single one of them. I know I have not seen Commando, for instance.
And neither have I.
But yeah, I thought he was terrific in this.
Yeah, he does a good job. He acts well. He looks good, and I was watching the movie and I was like, he is a pretty good looking dude. I never really noticed it before.
Yeah.
But he's a pretty attractive guy, I gotta say.
He looks fantastic in this movie. And apparently this is the toughest. He says that this was one of the toughest shoots he's ever done. He's like, we're just in the jungle the whole time.
Oh yeah, I'd believe it.
Always on hills, one foot's up, one foot's down. It's terrible. Apparently he lost 25 pounds during filming.
That's fun.
Yeah. And the whole cast, they're all competing with each other. They're all waking up early to work out secretly and trying to hide it from each other, I guess, to stay big, right? And see who can get bigger than who else.
That's fair. That's fair.
But yeah, I think that this is certainly one of my favorite Arnold roles.
Yeah, it's definitely up there for sure for me.
It is also an Arnold role, right? There are still those fucking moments where he's got to get his little one-liners in and shit, that were so popular at the time.
For sure.
But yeah, he was great. And apparently when he first read the script, wasn't quite as interested in doing the film because the script was more of a straightforward Commandos versus Hunter Aliens script. And when it got reworked to be more of it's a group of commandos on a mission and then they get surprised by this singular hunter, he was like, that's a much more interesting direction. We sort of starts creeping into this sci-fi element. We don't start out there, but then it sort of reveals itself.
Yeah.
That's when he got interested and signed on to the project.
Yeah, it's funny you say that because, to me, that's one of the biggest strengths of the movie is that it starts off as a not even that far away from normal satire of something like Commando, for instance.
Yes.
And then the first 45 minutes of the movie are an entire separate movie all by itself, its own little mini separate self-contained movie that then about 45 minutes in, suddenly also there's a Predator now.
Yeah. Yes.
To me, that is legitimately one of the biggest strengths of the movie is that it just does kind of have that turn almost halfway through.
Totally, yeah. And that was what, he got on board once it turned into a project more like that. And that is a much more interesting film.
I definitely agree with that.
So, I'll credit him with helping that happen, because I think that he was like, we got to rewrite this. We got to rework it into something else,
For sure.
Yeah. So those are our main players there. There's some other, one-off guys. I guess I'll drop some names here. We've got
The General.
R.G. Armstrong as General Phillips,
who shows up in the opening scene and I believe the closing scene.
Pruneface in Dick Tracy.
I don't think I've seen Dick Tracy.
That's a pretty solid credit.
Yeah, it is.
Yeah, but I guess the biggest credit of all, I save for the end. The biggest credit of all goes to two people. Kevin Peter Hall for playing the Predator.
Yeah, he sure does. He plays the hell out of this Predator.
And Peter Cullen for voicing the Predator.
I don't think I knew that was Peter Cullen. That's interesting.
Yeah. So we're going to start with
That's
Kevin.
fun.
We're going to start with Kevin Peter Hall, because this man is, I think, 7'2".
I believe that too. Yeah, he's huge.
Yeah. Very, very tall. 7'4". Pardon me.
Oh, he's even taller. Nice.
Yeah. And he was brought in to replace a different big name, Jean-Claude Van Damme. I think everybody at this point knows the story of Jean-Claude Van Damme originally being cast to play the alien, and him not enjoying being in the costume. It was a terrible costume. He kept passing out, etc. And so he was eventually, he left the film, and he was replaced with Kevin Peter Hall, who also plays the Predator in Predator 2, I believe, and is seen at the end of the movie as the helicopter pilot.
Oh, he was the helicopter pilot. Okay, yes. I do vaguely remember that guy. Yes, okay.
Yep, he plays a lot of monsters. He was, I think, Harry and the Hendersons. He was Big John and Big Top Pee-wee. He refers to the roles he plays monsters in as grunt roles, I think is what he called them. Grunt acting.
It makes sense. Yeah, I would believe it.
Yeah. And yeah, man, he acts the hell out of this movie in that suit. He really brings the creature to life, right? If you don't have good
I really
suit
liked
actors,
him a lot. Yeah.
If you don't have good suit actors, then what are you doing? I mean,
yeah. I definitely really believed him in this role. He looked good in the suit. He was, suitably huge. He looked good dwarfing Arnie during that closing fight. Yeah, he was a very good choice for this role. I liked him a lot. He did a good job.
Yes.
And I cannot imagine how awful it would have been to be wading around swamps in the jungle having to wear that.
I know, that must have been hell,
Yeah, it would have been awful.
To play this role with, God, how heavy do you think that suit was? Like 60 pounds, probably?
Something like that, probably, yeah.
Jesus, what a trooper. And then Peter Cullen, of course, uncredited voiced the Predator.
That's probably why I didn't know it. I didn't see the credit at the end. All right, I gotcha.
Yeah. Optimus Prime, everybody.
He sure is. He's absolutely fucking Optimus Prime.
Yeah. A lot of other voices, but very famous is Optimus Prime's voice.
I would say it's easily his most famous role.
Yes, I'm looking at his credits now.
Other than voicing the Predator, of course.
Optimus Prime, Eeyore.
Yep.
Optimus Prime. He voices the Predator in Alien versus Predator Evolution. So I think he voices the Predator a few times, which is pretty cool.
That's fun.
Yeah. But yeah, those two together really bring this creature to life. Those are our players, everybody.
Yeah, pretty much.
Yeah. All right. Business out of the way. Kenny, what do you think of Predator?
The first time I saw this movie a few years ago, I thought it was okay. I was like, yeah, it's fine. Going back and watching it again, I was way more into it, and I quote unquote walked out of the movie, as in turned it off because I was just in my room. But when the movie was over, I was like, wow, that movie was really fucking good.
Hell yeah.
Yeah, I liked it a lot better this time than I did the first time. I guess I was just more on its vibe now. But yeah,
Sure.
I fucking loved this movie. I thought it was great. I had a good time. I was hooting and hollering. It was great.
Very cool. I have always loved this movie. I think this is one of the earliest sort of big action movies I saw, as a kid. And it's always had a very special place in my heart, to be cheesy. But I think that there's a reason that I'm an Alien guy and not a Predator guy.
That's fair.
Yeah,
I got you.
I don't love commando military action movies, especially not. I mean, I don't like them in general. Really, It's not my thing. When they're, I can watch them and they're, I enjoy them, but it's not like my go-to genre, right?
For sure.
And that's what most of this movie is. There just happens to be an alien monster there as well, right?
Yeah, yep.
So it has sort of depreciated a bit for me over the years, but I still really, really like it. Everybody, don't worry. I'm not going to shit on the movie. Okay. I still love this movie. It is an absolute classic. There's a reason it launched a franchise and a comic book miniseries from Dark Horse and an Alien versus Predator crossover. And we're still getting Predator movies to this day, right?
Yeah, that was actually something that I was thinking about, when the movie was over. One of the things that struck me was it reminded me a lot of Saw, in the sense of they made this movie intending for it to really only be the one, but watching it now, I can absolutely see how they were able to spin an entire franchise out of this concept.
Yeah. They didn't have to force it like Hatchet 2 and 3, right?
That's right.
It naturally lends itself. It's got enough mystery to it with the alien creature that it leaves itself open for more exploration and more sequels and stuff.
Yeah.
And it's an isolated enough event that it's not like global apocalypse that, now we, what are we going to do with the next one? We can't go any bigger than this, right?
For sure.
Yeah, it's a great movie. The commando stuff is just not for me.
I got you.
My first complaint about the movie, in fact, is going to be, it's actually my only, I'm not even going to say my first complaint, my only complaint about the movie. This is my only one, is that first scene when Dutch and his crew are creeping in to quote unquote rescue the hostages. And it's that whole big firefight shootout and everything.
For sure. Yeah.
I did not like that scene at all.
All right. That sucks.
Yeah. Because
I mean, it worked for me because, especially now that I know how the movie operates, I was able to see it as this is the movie trying to make you think that it's a different movie than it's going to turn out to be. Because
right.
To me, the way I registered it is oh yeah, they're doing this, they're purposely evoking something like a commando to make you think, oh yeah, this is going to be like a totally normal Arnie movie where he shows up and they pull out the big guns and blast everything away. And then after a little while, they realize, oh no, all of our normal manly tactics are not going to fucking work against this new guy. Oh shit.
Okay, I have two complaints. All right. My first complaint about the movie, and this is an unfair one, and I'm going to admit that. I think it's right for them to open the movie, in the grand scheme of things, ultimately, because of how movies are marketed and trailers and all of that kind of stuff. It was right of them to probably open the movie with that Predator mothership flying by Earth and dropping, a landing pod, right?
Yeah.
But there's a part of me that is thinking, man, if they didn't have that scene, then we could have been completely surprised when the alien shows up, because we could have even believed that all of the heat vision tracking stuff that was going on, which had no weird alien text showing up on it, could have been some weird drone. I know they didn't have drones back then, but who knows, some kind of military tech tracking on the soldiers, right?
Yeah.
Something terrestrial.
And see, like, thing of it is that first off, it did make me laugh. I totally forgot that the opening scene of the movie was a spaceship flying by,
Yeah.
which is like, basically also the opening shot of The Thing.
Right.
Except in that one, the ship lands rather than flying by and dropping something off.
Sure.
But, like, it's funny that you mentioned the heat vision, and it's also extra funny that you mentioned rollerball earlier, because I actually made that comparison in my notes. Because I specifically mentioned about almost 20 minutes into the movie when the first thermal vision shot shows up, the first Predator heat vision shot.
Yeah.
In the context of the movie, you don't know that it is, predator heat vision and like a creature watching them.
Right.
And you can tell that the movie doesn't expect you to know that, because later on when you get the heat vision shot and the predator picks up like that dead scorpion,
Right.
when his hand appears revealing it is a creature that's been watching them, there's a big like musical scare sting that
Yeah.
happens. And so the movie doesn't expect you to know when you see the heat vision shots that it's a creature watching them. And so, to me, in the context of the movie, it's like that big scene in Rollerball that they just filmed in night vision for no reason. And like in the sense of, in the context of the movie, the heat vision shots just seem to be, oh, they decided to just film this shot weird for some reason. Like,
Right.
it doesn't seem to you when you're watching it like there's supposed to be like an in-story reason you're seeing it that way.
Sure.
They just decided to just flare it up and use the cameras in a weird way when making that scene for a reason that you don't understand at the time,
Right. Well, okay. So the premise of the movie is allegedly there are some hostages that have been taken. One Central American U.S. ally crossed over the border to, I believe, Guatemala, and the two.
They don't say in this movie what country it is, but later on in like other Predator things, they eventually do say it.
Right. A shout out to Xenopedia for identifying it as Guatemala. You are correct. It is not stated in this movie. It is just two Central American countries, right?
Yeah, for sure.
One helicopter crossed over the border to a hostile territory, was downed, and they were taken hostage. And Dutch and his team of badasses are a rescue squad, not assassins, who are being sent in to rescue these hostages because they are the best, right?
That's correct.
So I think that there's a version of this movie where we don't get the alien reveal at the beginning. We don't get the alien hand. We just get these interesting tracking shots, and we could maybe think, okay, well, the military's involved in this. Our allies are involved. This could be satellite imagery. This could be something else, And then there's
there are ways to justify it being like a normal thing, you know?
And I don't know if that makes the movie better or worse, or if teasing out that there is an extraterrestrial presence makes the movie better for most people or more people, or tests better or builds the tension more, that it works better with those reveals. I'm not the filmmakers, right?
Yeah.
I've just always thought, like, man, how cool would it be if there was no hint of it being alien, and then until that first kill, right?
Yeah.
And then we see the jungle come alive and take Shane Black. That would have been crazy. And then it all sort of unfolds, and we see all the evidence after that.
Speaking of which, I also absolutely love the way the cloaking tech looks in this movie.
It looks fantastic. Yes.
It looks really good.
Looks great.
I mean, and I don't even just mean because of like how the effect is done. I think the actual visual of it still holds up almost 40 years later. I think it looks cool. All right.
I do too.
Yeah.
I think it looks better than like the sort of translucent ghosting that they do with CGI now, right?
Yeah. Yeah, for sure. I like how the way it looks like layered, like it's mirrors reflecting an image back to each other. Like as you get further into where the predator outline is, like the image just gets repeated smaller and smaller. It looks cool, man. I think it looks cool. All right.
Yeah, I do too. All right, let me make my one complaint here with this scene where now our rescue team thinks that they're invading this insurgent camp and are going to rescue the hostages after Dutch sees one get shot, and they're all splitting up into their teams to make their attacks. And we see, like, you know, each of them moving into position, right? And this is very traditional, like you said, you know, commando movie, Arnold Schwarzenegger action movie heavy. But the way that it was filmed was bugging me last night.
Mm-hmm.
In a way, like, the first thing I noticed was like the scene of Jesse Ventura sneaking down and almost catching the tripwire, right?
Yeah.
And then they have to disarm that. I was like, this feels like such a weirdly isolated shot. This almost feels like an insert shot they did later, you know?
All right.
And then again, and then when the action happens, when Arnold goes up and lifts the fucking truck, right?
Yeah, he does do that. Yeah.
Like, he just walks out in plain view of a lot of people and does this, and nobody catches him. And then he's like back hidden right away afterwards. And then during the firefight, it's just chaos everywhere, and they're blowing up every fucking building. But for all they know, there's still one hostage there that they're supposed to be rescuing. And they're literally firing grenades into every single building and blowing up everything in sight.
Yeah, they light like 9 guys on fire.
Yeah, and I was like, this is not... I thought you guys were a rescue team, not assassins, for starters. But it was really like, I was like, this is just over the top. This doesn't even feel like satire. This just feels chaos for chaos's sake, right? This is how you do action in 1987.
It didn't feel like they were trying to satire something like Commando. It felt like they were just making a really actiony action movie. I gotcha.
Right. I read an article this morning from All the Right Movies, everybody's go-to information site for movies.
A name that I've heard of, but I couldn't tell you anything about them. Yes.
A name I'd never heard of until this morning when I found this article.
Right.
That says that scene was not directed by John McTiernan. It was directed by the second unit director, Craig Baxley. Okay.
All right.
Craig Baxley is a former director from the A-Team. So he staged and shot that whole scene. He was the stunt coordinator on the A-Team, and he worked on, and he was also the director of one episode of Raven. That's just for me. Raven: Return of the Black Dragon.
It is just for you. Yeah. Yes.
He directed 9 episodes of the A-Team, and he was a stunt coordinator on that show. So he shot it like an episode of the A-Team.
All right, that's fair.
And when John McTiernan saw like the footage from it, he hated it and didn't want to use it in the movie. And the studio was like, no, this is good. This has to stay in. And I was like, this is why it feels so disjointed and shot differently and doesn't feel like the rest of the movie, is because it literally isn't like the rest of the movie. That makes total sense now.
Yeah, it's wild because like this entire time I was like, oh yeah, it was intended to feel different on purpose because they're trying to make this section of the movie feel different than the other section. Turns out that no, it just feels different because some other schmuck was the guy that fucking did it. Got it. Okay.
Yeah. Yeah. This other guy was doing what he does when he shoots television and stuff, you know. And yeah, it didn't work for me, but I've never had a problem with it before.
That's fair.
So, yeah, it's just changing tastes, I guess.
I hear you.
There were 2 parts. One of them is when Anna sneaks up on Arnold, but there was another time before that. It was when he does his classic machete throw, stick around to the guy.
Yeah.
Where I was like, everyone is just immediately opening fire on everyone, and this one guy gets the jump on Arnold, and instead of shooting him, he's slowly sneaking up on him behind him without his weapon even up.
Mm-hmm.
I hate that shit, man.
Speaking of shit that you hate, one thing I did notice is that unless there's a scene here that I'm forgetting, they mostly avoided shitty Marine dialogue by not really having very much dialogue that's not just like giving orders to each other.
100% loved it. There were a few, I mean, the two big pussy jokes and the I'm not going to repeat it except for the sexual tyrannosaur line that
Yeah.
Jesse Ventura has on the helicopter. That's about it, right?
Yeah, that's about it. Yeah, there isn't shitty Marine dialogue because they don't have dialogue really.
Shitty commando dialogue.
Yeah,
Oh, what was I changing it to?
I don't remember,
Shitty
unfortunately.
something. I was shitty trooper dialogue because I wanted to call it STD.
Oh yeah, there we go. Okay, yes, perfect.
No shitty trooper dialogue in this, really, for the most part.
Yeah,
Just a little bit
Yeah.
on the helicopter when
Yeah,
they
it's
were
fine.
listening to Little Richard.
They sure were. Yeah, and presumably it's one of those things where Hawkins and Blaine are both intended to be obnoxious, so it's
Yeah.
fine if they say something obnoxious.
As Blaine is literally shoveling the biggest handful of chewing tobacco in his mouth I have ever seen.
And then spits it directly onto Dylan's shoe.
It's a real nasty habit you got. Yeah, man. But, yeah, other than those lines, I got to say, a lot of chemistry between all of the characters and the cast, right?
I'll agree with
Like,
that, yeah.
For real. And I think that really benefits and carries the movie.
I agree.
Yeah, very, a lot like how Aliens, I think, is really held together a lot by the chemistry among the cast, the great casting and the chemistry among them. I can say the same about Predator for sure.
Yeah, generally a really good cast in this movie. I don't know how I feel necessarily about Shane Black being in this movie, but otherwise, really good cast in this movie.
Yeah. I don't know how I feel about Shane Black.
Yeah, same. That's the reason why I'm like, I don't know about him in this movie, because he's somebody that I don't really know about him in general. So
some of his movies are good, and then Iron Man 3.
yeah, he did make Iron Man 3, didn't he?
He sure
Yeah.
did.
He sure did.
Yeah.
Yeah, Iron Man 3, The Predator, he's knocking it out of the park, baby.
I'm also tired of arguing with people about Iron Man 3. Guys, it's not a very good movie, and I don't want to have to explain why again. It's just not.
I mean, I think it's fine, and I don't have a problem with it, but I also recognize that it's not, like, good.
He created an Iron Man who never has to wear his Iron Man suit. What are the stakes? Where are the stakes for Iron Man when he doesn't have to wear a suit ever?
Fair.
Anyway, did you have any specific issues with the movie?
I'm going through my notes to see if there was anything that I forgot. I didn't like Hawkins very much.
Right.
Yeah, as we've already established. But otherwise, honestly, not really. I don't think it's like a perfect movie, but I did, spoiler alert, give it a 4 stars on Letterboxd after I was done with the movie.
Nice.
So
Okay.
it's good, and I really like it. I don't think it's like a perfect movie, but there isn't anything specific in the movie that I would say, oh, if they changed or removed that, I would like it more. It's a good movie, and that's just how it is.
Sure. Okay, we're done. What if we just end it here with me just bitching about the commando scene? And that's the whole podcast.
That's fine.
No. Let's talk about the goddamn monster.
Let's,
Right.
baby.
And by the monster, I mean the true villain of the movie, Dylan.
That's right.
Yeah.
He's
We'll
great.
talk a little bit about the fact that that Dutch's team was brought in under false pretenses, and what they actually ended up doing was not so much, rescuing hostages, but stopping a Soviet invasion, apparently.
Yeah, something like that.
The
Yeah.
Soviets were working with this country to help invade the neighboring country, I believe.
Something like that. Yeah.
Yeah. And the hostages weren't locals, they were CIA agents.
Yeah, they were CIA agents under Dylan's command, if I
yes.
recall. Yeah.
And there was another troop of
Green Berets.
there was a troop of the helicopter went down with Dylan's men in it, and then a troop of 6 Green Berets went in to rescue them, and they were all killed. And now Dutch's group is going in.
And they weren't just killed. The movie implies they were killed by the Predator.
Yes, they were killed and skinned, right?
Yes. Yeah, because they were skinned. And so we were like, oh, that's gross. I can't believe the insurgents are doing that to these people. Then later on, we find out, no, the Predator just skins people after he kills them.
Right. So in terms of like internal villains, I mean, do we want
And
to?
Dylan is one for a little bit until Arnie's like, look, man, stop fucking around or I'll like kill you or whatever. And Dylan's like, okay, fine. And then he just like becomes part of the group like normal.
Right.
And then it's not really a problem anymore.
Yeah.
Because they have bigger stuff to worry about.
Do you feel ready to have a conversation about like, you know, U.S. is meddling in Central American politics and the CIA and, you know, the Soviet Union conflicts?
Oh,
and
this was definitely intended as like maybe not necessarily a satire, but at the very least a reference to all of that. I seem to recall reading somewhere that that is specifically the reason they sent it, or they set the movie in Central America, because the US already had so many ops going on in that area anyway.
right.
So they were like, oh, make it more believable that way.
Yeah. The real villain is the United States government.
Ronald Reagan, baby.
Yes, 100%. As it turns out, most movies are. He's the villain.
Yeah, pretty much.
Let's talk about the monster, though. Let's talk about the Predator.
He rocks.
Yeah, it rules. So the original Predator design, right, was, I forget the name of the studio that did it, but it was originally supposed to be more, quote, ninja-like and agile. So and that's why Van Damme was cast, I believe. And
Makes sense. I believe it.
And when they got the suit, when they shot everything they could without the suit, and then they got the suit and they opened the crate and they were like, this is terrible. It's like, it looks like a lizard with a duck head or something like that, I think is the quote from McTiernan.
All right.
And they halted production and hired Stan Winston to totally redesign and redevelop the creature ground up.
Well, given the opportunity, I would also hire Stan Winston to do that.
Yeah, so it cost twice as much as they originally had budgeted for it. And they got the iconic Predator out of that, right? And
Good look.
Yeah, man. Very, very cool look. The mandible, jaws, and everything was something that I think Winston wanted. He's like, I always wanted to design a creature with that. So like he brought that to the table.
Sure.
But what a fucking fantastic monster design. You know?
Great look. It's one of those things where when you first see him for the first time, like, you know, you get that very brief glimpse of him like turning his cloaking off for a moment before turning it back on. I don't remember who it is that sees him do that, but so he can like show off what he looks like to one of the squad members.
I think to Mac, right? And that's right before Mac starts chasing him.
And it's wild because like you see that look and like he has the armor, he has the mask on, and you think, oh, that's just what he looks like.
Yes.
And then later on turns out, no, that actually is a mask, and he pulls it off and he has like the crazy mandibles with the teeth and everything, and you're like, I already thought he looked cool enough, but now he looks even cooler. This is rad.
He is one ugly motherfucker, right?
He sure is.
Yeah,
it
man.
rules.
Everybody knows what the Predator looks like. I don't know that I could even describe it accurately, but just this.
Yeah, I mean, I can't imagine there's anyone out there listening to this show and listening to this episode that at the very least isn't aware of what a Predator looks like.
The reptilian kind of skin, the like flat slanted forehead with, you know, the sort of dreadlocks or braids, the kind of alien sort of tentacle hair. The armor, right? The claws, the shoulder cannon, the mask. The mask is so cool. I mean, everything about
it's very cool.
The design
it's very cool. Yes,
just intimidating. Not scary in like horror scary, right?
Yeah,
scary in like I'm gonna be murdered. Like
this thing is definitely going to kill me.
Yeah, murdered is horror, right? Scary and like this thing is I am outgunned scary, right? Like you're facing off against just a superior enemy, right?
And it doesn't hurt that he's played by a guy that is 7'4".
Yes, with the voice of Peter Cullen.
Yeah.
And I love that we don't really see him in full. We get that one brief shot, and then we don't really get to see him in full until like really towards the end of the movie. You know,
Yeah,
when
when Arnie's by himself is, I think, the next time we see him in full.
yeah. I do want to say, kind of a shitty hunter,
Yeah, I agree.
right?
Yeah, there's definitely there's a scene earlier on in the movie when after Blaine gets killed, everyone just pulls out their guns and just starts firing wildly into the brush. And they keep on being like, "Oh, we dumped so many rounds into the trees that there's no way anything in there survived." And it's like they wounded him with one of the bullets.
Yeah.
But the reason I bring this up is because later on, near the end of the movie, after Arnie goes Viet Cong mode, he pisses off the Predator so much that the Predator does the same thing and just starts using his shoulder cannon to just fire randomly into the woods. And I'm like, this guy is not very good at his job, is he?
Yeah, he's just lost it at that point. He's like, I got to kill this motherfucker. He's desperate at that point. But he's hiding out on basically deer blinds and just shooting down at everybody and then jumping down to collect their bodies and picking them up. I do like that Billy notes, the stories Billy tells about him when he's reading the scenes where at the helicopter or just after, he's like, there was a firefight, right? And there were six sets of boots, US issue. And they're like, I can't believe that they would have gotten the jump on him. And he's like, they didn't. There's no one else. There's nothing else here. Nothing in or out. So there was a moment where the Predator took out 6 guys who were all firing at him and killed every single one of them without them even getting a scratch on him. And we didn't get to see that, right? So he's
for sure
told to be more intimidating than we actually kind of see him be in the movie. Maybe he's just kind of tired at that point. I don't know. He's been hunting.
Yeah, who knows?
He's been hunting for days or weeks at this point. Right?
Yeah, for sure.
And then there's this scene where they, set up all of the trip wires around their camp. And he was still able to sneak in and grab the body without setting off the trip wires.
Yeah, he definitely was able to do that, yeah.
But then
sometimes he's good at it, but sometimes he's bad at it. It's wild.
Yeah, but then they set the trap for him to lure him in where they set up trip wires everywhere except one place. And instead of thinking well, that's an obvious trap, they're luring me into this one place. He just goes through that one place and gets caught in a fucking Elmer Fudd net.
He does, yeah. That's correct.
It's just all right.
and then firing and slicing wildly to try to get out is how Pancho gets fucked up, if I recall. I believe he gets Looney Tunes with a big log trap or something like
100%.
that.
Yeah, he just gets wailed on by that thing.
Yeah, he got the way I wrote it in my notes is he got fucking smoked by a log.
Yeah, they were a few scenes of first all of the commandos and then later Arnold, as my notes say, home aloneing the jungle.
Yeah, he sure is.
A lot of log traps, a lot of hidden, spike traps that they're putting together.
Yeah, at the end of the movie when Arnie crushes him with the counterweight for the trap, I literally wrote that in my notes as, quote, got his ass Ewok mode. Yeah, there's a whole lot of that in this movie, which I think was kind of the point, that another part of the reason why the big commando scene in the first half didn't bother me as much, because the entire premise of the movie is look at these big, huge, masculine, manly men with their big guns firing everything all crazy. Turns out that's not going to work against this fucking guy. They need to be sneaky and subversive, and they can't rely on their big tools to kill this guy, even though the Predator always relies on his big tools to kill everyone.
Sure, yeah, but we can't be so reliant on our firepower and our military technology. We have to go back.
That's right.
Just like the AVP comic was saying, that guy was like, "Man, we got to go back to sticks and stones."
That's right.
Man, what a good.
Which is wild to think that only came out 2 years after this movie came out.
That might be my favorite comic book ever now.
It's right up there with fucking Covenant Origins as your favorite.
It's going to be my new reference for everything.
Works perfect. Love it.
Yeah.
But
hey, shout out to Vapey. All right.
That's right.
Got that one out of the way too. but also like when at near the end when the predator is chases Arnold down when like into the water, right?
Yeah.
And his
Yeah.
cloaking goes out.
Mhm.
He uncloaks and then just stands there for a while looking around
He sure does. Yes.
out in the
He does
open.
do that. Yeah, he does do that.
Doesn't seek cover or anything. I mean, maybe he's just feeling like untouchable still. Like I don't even have to hide from this motherfucker. There's nothing he can do, right? But also like if you want to catch him, maybe don't stand out in the open where he can see you. Like I understand his cloaking was broken. He should still try to hide if he wants to get the jump on the guy, right? He shouldn't
Also,
just be like hanging out there.
it's wild to me that his cloaking, because like the movie implies, or at least I inferred from the way the movie showed it, that it broke because like it got wet, because like the way his cloaking was like depicted as not working was that it was like sparking with electricity,
Right.
and it was right after he had climbed out of a lake after jumping down a waterfall, and
Yeah.
it's like, why is this guy's tech why is it not waterproof? Like, why is
That's
it going to break if it got wet? Like, bro, you're the predator.
It is. I guess maybe when he got back to his hideout, he put it in like a bag of sand and dried it
Maybe.
out. Because he uses
Could
it
be.
again. He uses it again later, and then it's when he's having that standoff with Arnold at the end that it like permanently breaks, right?
Yeah, yeah.
So it just it's water. It's like IP68 water resistant, but not waterproof.
Of course.
So he had to
yes.
dry it out. It's like when you get a little bit of water in your USB port.
I got you. Fair enough. But also another thing is that it is wild to me that these guys are supposed to be like the best hunters in the galaxy, and they rely entirely on infrared vision to see. So like, again, as seen in the movie, what if something like doesn't have a heat signature or is able to mask it? Are you just going to be like, oh, there's nothing out there in the whole world that can do that, so we're not even gonna like worry about that at all?
Yeah, that's where the expanded media stuff comes in. Because I know in the games, right, when you play as the Predator, you can cycle through different vision modes. Because I believe xenomorphs don't show up on the heat vision; they show up on a different visual spectrum.
Yeah. They don't have a heat signature, except for some of the times where occasionally they do. Yes.
Right. So maybe he's just got it set for that because he's on Earth,
Yeah, it could be.
and because of the specific prey he's hunting.
Yeah. That's fair.
Or maybe he's just playing on hard mode.
Could be.
To that point where he jumps into the water and his cloaking goes out and he has to turn it off. That does give us like the first really good look at him overall, and it fucking
Sure
rules.
does.
So from the standpoint of watching,
He looks great.
Watching a movie, it's awesome to see, right?
Yeah, for
So
sure.
I'm not trying to quote Bob. I'm not trying to get all cinema sins here,
It reminds me, which I was literally about to say, it reminds me of that scene from Prey, when actually what it is Prey was probably just making a purposeful reference to the first movie of the series that it is a part of,
100%.
where he kills the bear and then the blood from it just drenches all over him, and it's like the first time you really see him, even though he's still cloaked. It kind of reminded me of that.
Nice. Yeah, man. Man, so the Predators, again, we're not Predator guys, right?
Mm-hmm.
I've seen all of the movies except for, what is it, Killer of Killers, and of course Badlands isn't out as of this recording.
Yeah. Yes.
And you've seen
I've seen Predator, I've seen Predators, I've seen Prey, and I saw the first like 20 minutes of Predator 2.
Right. And we've seen the AVP movies. I've seen them certainly, and I think you've seen them at this point.
I've seen the first one. I have not watched 2 yet.
Yeah, I've played some games, some AVP games, and I've read some AVP comics.
I think the only AVP comic I've read is the one we covered on the show.
Right. I in my long ago I read all of Fire and Stone, so I know I read those, even though I don't remember any of it, and I don't remember what we've already read for the show anymore either. It's been so long.
Fair.
But we're not. I've never read any dedicated Predator. Oh, and then of course, Predator versus Wolverine. 2 issues of that.
Yeah.
We got
I've read
those-
2 issues of that. Yeah, I have not read the other ones yet.
We got those under our belt. Again, we're not well versed in whatever the mythos, the novels, the Dark Horse or Marvel series have built up around them. So everything I know about them is primarily come from the movies, right?
Yeah.
And certainly anything canon, you know. So it is interesting to me that these monsters are sort of balancing technology and weakness in ways that I hadn't really paid as much attention to until I was really thinking about it when watching yesterday. Right.
All right. Mm-hmm.
And as much as this guy was sort of hiding out in the trees and just blasting away with his shoulder cannon throughout this movie, and then jumping down and claiming bodies, and he has a cloaking shield, right? Which is all very cheesy and screams of like recreational, you know, human hunting, not hunting humans, but like the way humans hunt.
Yeah. Yeah.
They are also relying on this technology to give them better vision that they don't have naturally. They have a weakness in their blood that will draw any predatorial species to them just visually, right?
Yeah.
Their first aid seems to be very violently painful.
Mm-hmm. That's also true.
He fucking screams. Their faces, just like the nature of their faces, look pretty vulnerable.
Yeah.
Which is why they wear these face shields.
Mm-hmm.
So, you know, some of this stuff does seem like necessity, right? Maybe even specifically life support. I mean, this dude's breathing on Earth somehow. Some of that stuff he was wearing had to have been so he could survive here, even though he strips it all off, right?
Yeah, I would say he does, in fact, take all that stuff off at the end and is still able to, you know, be here okay until he gets killed anyway. But you know what I mean?
Yeah, but they're a little reptilian, so maybe he's just got like lung capacity like a turtle, you know?
Yeah, that's true.
I mean, I don't know.
Didn't think about that. Good point.
That's me, you know, guessing.
Yeah,
At
I don't
something.
know.
There's certainly no evidence to back that up. So we'll remove it from this argument. But it is an interesting balance because, like, man, when we watch the AVP movie, those predators are gigantic and their weapons take literally all the challenge out of everything they do. And they still get their fucking asses kicked, which is hilarious to me. But I do think it's interesting that they're a lot more vulnerable than they initially seem. So but it also means they're also not nearly as badass as they seem, right?
Also true, yeah. I mean, like, which really comes down to the main thing that we've talked about before that we were kind of even briefly mentioning here. It's like, to me, like, everyone keeps talking about them like the franchise describes them as like, you know, the ultimate hunter or whatever.
Right.
But it's like these guys are posting up and like sniping people from 3 miles away, like the equivalent of it. And it's like, to me, that's the opposite of like what sporting is, which is what their entire thing supposedly is, you know?
Sure. And I guess we're
like it's in no way a fair fight when you can pull a trigger on a weapon and it blows like an 8-inch hole through somebody's chest, you know?
Yeah. And I guess
that's just, I don't know, whatever.
The fight with Arnold at the end where he sees that Arnold has no weapons left and is pretty beaten up. And so he strips off his own armor and his own weapons, except for his fucking claws, you know? And to face him off sort of on more even ground is supposed to show like, no, look, he's honorable, quote unquote honorable. It never reads to me as honorable, right? I think, and I think there's
agree.
this push in conversation about them having this honorable streak. And we will see that I know we will see that in the AVP comic series we're about to read. I know it's in the movie, the first movie, right? This idea that predators are honorable, and I don't think that it never reads to me that way. You know, they're just big game hunters. That's it.
Yeah, that's all they are. They're just they're hunting the most dangerous game. And like another example of that is like fucking Arnie kills him, and then like while he's lying there, he even does the "what the hell are you" back at him, and then
Right.
when he activates the bomb, he starts laughing like he's like,
Yeah.
"I'm gonna fucking get this guy's ass now."
Yeah, he plays Billy's laugh back like he knows what that is and what it means, you know, like he's
Yeah.
taunting him with it,
Yeah,
with the voice of his dead friend. I mean, it never read to me. I guess when you're trying to tell stories and you need to create, you've got two alien species, xenomorphs, predators, and you need to create something to empathize with. It's kind of like, here we go, Freddy versus Jason, where
Yeah.
you've got two mass murdering serial killers and you've got humans trapped in between, and you need to kind of humanize or put one of them more towards the human's side for the sake of the story. You know, the humans have to point one of them at the other in order to survive, right? So one of them's got to kind of work alongside. You know, they're still the bad guy, right?
yeah,
It's just, I think that's why I'm just not a big Predator guy.
that's fair.
It's just less interesting to me, and it's certainly less scary to me.
Yeah, I agree. I mean, like, it's one of those things where both the first Predator movie and the first Alien movie are about a murderous extraterrestrial stalking a group of people in like a remote place. The difference is that the xenomorphs can just do that, and the Predators need an entire suit of armor and multiple plasma weapons to be able to do that.
right, and they need all of those things in order to fight the xenomorphs, you know.
Yeah, for sure.
And they still get their asses whooped constantly.
Yeah, they still get their fucking ass kicked. Yeah.
Right.
So it doesn't even help. I was going to say it doesn't even help that much. And it's like it does because they still do manage to kill xenomorphs. But like, as we've seen in other stuff, like, you know, they don't even always need those things to be able to kill xenomorphs. Like, we've seen predators kill xenomorphs with like a spear before, you know?
Totally. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. I just, you know, I think the creature design is awesome. I think they're very cool, and I'm glad that they exist. And I think that it is a natural crossover with aliens stuff, right?
Yeah.
But I just don't get excited about them in the same way.
One thing I'd like to say is I was trying to like think of the words, like the correct words in order to like correctly get across my thoughts of it. How you were saying that like the big fight between the two of them at the end of the movie never felt like to you like the Predator was being honorable. I also agree. The reason I waited until now to say it is, like I said, I was trying to like put together my thoughts on it while we were talking. But like the Predator unmasking, taking his armor off, all that other stuff, it didn't read as, oh, let's do it on a more even playing field.
Yeah.
It felt like the Predator was going, I don't even need any of that shit to kick your ass.
You're 100% right. Yeah. I know you were going with that as you were saying it. Yeah, that's totally good. That's a very good point. He's like, fuck this. Look at you.
Yeah,
Piece of human garbage. Fuck you. I don't even need this shit.
He wasn't trying to even the playing field. He was like, look, even without all this extra stuff, I'm still way better than you.
Right. I think the reason I was reading it the other way is because, you know, Arnold figured out that thing. Like, he's like, Anna, he's not killing you because you don't have a weapon. There's no sport in it. That may just have been fucking projection. Right.
It could have been because Arnold didn't have a weapon at the end of the movie either, and the Predator still was beating the shit out of him.
Right. But at that point, Arnold had he'd been shooting him with blow up arrows and throwing spears at him and trying to kill him. And, you know.
Oh, speaking of which, that entire scene where you mentioned the arrows, like that whole scene where he was like setting up the traps and building the bow and stuff, man, if it were me, I would not have done all that stuff. I would have been turned into that meme image of the old guy shrugging and saying, guess I'll die.
Yeah, dude. He made fucking...
He is so insanely determined to kill this thing. It's very funny.
He made a bow and arrow, black powder grenades, set traps all over the place. He had a busy fucking night. He did that in a matter of hours. Like,
he sure did.
He must have put a lot of skill points into crafting.
Yeah, he got that shit ready to go right away, comparatively.
It was too fast. It was too much, too quick, and I do like that we didn't get to see him use all of it or a lot of it even, right? I like that.
Yeah,
I
like
like that
he
we
crawls through that little space, and then when he gets to the other side, he's like, "Come on, I'm right here, kill me." If he hadn't said that, maybe the predator would have walked through it. But him being like, "Come on, step right through that open hole right
Yeah.
there," the predator was like, "Oh, well, okay, duh."
Wait a minute. Hold on. And then he's like, oh, wait, there's spikes here? What do you think I am? Fucking stupid. What do you think I am? A xenomorph? Get out of here. Right?
Yeah,
Yeah.
for sure.
So here's my question. At the point where they were running to the chopper, another thing that bothered me is that everyone else gets fucking shot with the shoulder cannon and punches big holes through them. Arnold gets shot with the shoulder cannon and it just conveniently sort of kind of hits his gun and sort of nicks his shoulder a little bit.
Yeah, like it blows holes through everyone else. Like Dylan got one of his arms literally blown off by it. And then he just conveniently, the gun just gets shot out of his hand, luckily.
Yeah, and didn't even get injured enough that he couldn't like pull a bow back hard enough to shoot an arrow through a tree. Through the tree. The arrow went through the tree. That is correct. An arrow that he made, that he constructed out of jungle garbage.
That's correct, yes.
But, okay, at that point, when they're trying to get to the chopper, if after Dylan and Mac got, and the predator comes and catches up with them, if he had just been like, okay, I figured it out. He won't kill us if we don't have weapons. Poncho, you're injured. There's no sport in that. You didn't even get injured by him. You got injured by a fucking log whacking you, right? Mm-hmm. So it's not like you're his kill. Anna, we've established he's not after you. You've never picked up a weapon. Mm-hmm. If I throw my gun down, none of us have weapons, and we just limp our way out of the jungle, there's no sport in this for him at all. Will he just leave us the fuck alone, right?
Yeah, because he wasn't even like tracking them in the sense of the premise of the movie is not that the predator is already there to chase them. Right. The predator just happens to be there, and then by sheer coincidence, they show up where the predator is. And so the predator is like, look at that. Some prey walked right into my vision, so I'm going to start attacking them.
This might be more game. Let's see if they're violent. Oh, they are. Okay. Fair game. But yeah, I understand that Arnold was like, I got to kill this thing or it's just going to keep killing people, right? It's a heroic moment. Yeah. But I do wonder if the predator would have been like, all right, fuck this. There's no challenge in this for me. Jesus, I'm killing fucking hurt animals. No, thank you.
Yeah, for sure.
They're just going to laugh at me back on the mothership if I bring these guys back.
That's right.
Yeah. I don't know. Just something I was thinking about.
Although, speaking of which, that scene where I don't remember whose body it was, where he fucking rips the spine and skull out of it, like up in the treetops, that actually kicks ass.
I think that was Mac.
Mac, okay, yeah.
No, yeah,
that was cool.
Yeah, because we see the skull that has the hole in it. We see Mac's skull for sure.
Yeah.
So I can't remember, unfortunately.
But yeah, like the fact that he does that is very funny to me because he could just cut the head off because he keeps the skulls. I don't know why he keeps the spine. And also, why does he skin them?
Oh, I don't know. Skin the bodies or skin the...
Yeah, skin the bodies.
Well, that's the weird thing, right? Like the first group of guys he skinned and left hanging, and now this group he's collecting the skulls. Is he like just practicing?
Yeah, I don't know.
He's like, I'm just going to skin this group, but the next group, I'm going to practice my skull cleaning skills. I'm going to practice my spine ripping skills and my skull ripping skills. I'm going to practice my Sub-Zero fatality.
That's right, baby.
Yeah. What was your favorite Predator kill?
Well, let's see. I'm going through all of them, and at least, like, let's see. Mac just gets shot in the head with a plasma cannon.
Yeah.
Blaine.
Let's talk him through real quick. So as Mac thinks he's sneaking up on the thing, and he's got it good, he sees the targeting reticule.
Yeah.
Reticle, whatever, on his arm.
Yeah. Yeah.
And then he like looks over and it's on his head, and then blam, shot in the head. Right.
Yeah. He gets a plasma gun straight to the head. Yeah.
Dylan gets his arm shot off,
Mm-hmm.
but he has two guns because Dutch gave him a second gun.
Yeah.
So then he whips his other gun off and starts firing, but then the predator charges at him and stabs him, right? Lifts him up with the claws.
Yep.
Yeah.
Blaine gets sniped from the treetops, plasma bolt directly through the chest.
Yes. Poncho, the log withstanding, he just sort of gets shot from the tree in the side of the head, I think. Nothing special.
Yeah, I think so. Yeah, nothing. Yeah, he also just gets shot in the head. Yeah. I believe Hawkins also gets shot in the chest.
Yeah, and then he jumps down and grabs and drags his body away.
Yeah.
They all get fucking shot with the fucking...
Yeah, they all, except for Dylan, they all just get sniped from the treetops with a plasma cannon.
And we don't see how Billy dies, but Billy has that standoff where he stops on the log bridge, right?
Yeah, and that was the shot I was referring to, the one where it's the Predator vision, where the Predator looks up from the rocks and we can see like the infrared vision of Billy standing there with the machete, and you can see the dark slash across his chest where the blood is.
Yeah.
Like that shot was the one I was referring to earlier, where I was like, great fucking shot right there.
I like that Billy's like, there's something out here and it's not human and we're all gonna die. Like he just knows something's out there.
Yeah,
and
for sure.
They're like, Billy, you're not afraid of no man. And he's like, this is no man,
Yeah, classic, very stereotypical style 80s dialogue there, yeah.
Very quotable movie.
It is.
Carl Weathers probably has the best standoff death, right?
It's the only one where he's the only person that gets close with the Predator, like fights him personally, because like I said, all the other times he's just sniping the guys from the treetops.
Yeah.
So him and Arnie are the only two people that ever really actually come face to face with the Predator, really.
Hawkins, his is Shane Black, his is startling, right? Certainly the first time you see it, that would really get you. And the blood splatters, and it splatters all over Anna. And then this, translucent figure comes out and grabs the body and drags it away. I could see that being very effective the first time,
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
But on rewatches, it's not, because it's coming.
That's true.
Not a lot of really great ones, huh? I'd say Duke or Dylan, or sorry, Bill Duke or Carl Weathers, Mac or Dylan.
Yeah, Mac or Dylan. Yeah, I mean, like I said, the thing of it is it all comes back to a big part of the reason that I don't think predators are as cool as xenomorphs are is because, like I said, they're all about doing like honorable sport hunting, and their idea of sport hunting is just posting up on a cliff face and then just sniping people from 3 miles away. And it's like that's not interesting to me because you can't do anything about that,
Yeah, exactly.
And so, yeah, like most of these people just get fucking sniped from orbit. What are you going to do about that? So their kills aren't really super interesting. They just get shot, whatever. Yeah. I mean, yeah, Dylan probably has the best one just because he's the only one of the group that doesn't just get shot.
I guess I can't really apply like slasher rules to this movie, right? Because I was trying to approach that question as a slasher. Right. But
I was going to say it depends on how hard you want to try. Because if you really want it to play by slasher rules, we can say that it is, and then it just doesn't. It's just not very good at being a slasher. So
right. Well, because even I was gonna say because even like Halloween has inventive and scary kills for not being, and a lot of them with a kitchen knife, even though they're not very violent or not very bloody, they're still memorable and scary, right? And
yeah, like even though he's only just killing people with a big knife the entire time, they're still like interesting and memorable in a way these kills kinda aren't.
Yeah. I mean, it's just these guys are just outgunned, and that's that. Yeah. They're just outgunned, and they're helpless down there, and they're outgunned, and they're not doing a very good job of staying hidden, and they can't because the enemy has better technology than they have.
For sure.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah.
Good lines though in the movie. Very quotable. Of course, the classic. I ain't got time to bleed. Okay, you got time to duck, right?
The other classic, "Get to the Choppa," is from this movie.
Yes, get to the chopper.
Yeah.
Yes, I tried to naturally figure how to put that in the intro, but I was like, don't put a hat on a hat, man.
You just do it. It's fine. Who cares?
It's all right.
But yeah, the thing of it is that, like, despite all that, I still had a great time watching this movie, and I still really like it a lot.
Yeah, I'm going to watch this movie a bunch still. It's a very fun, watchable movie. Yeah, it's just not one I watch as often as a different franchise, right? It's not even the one I think I watched the most in this franchise anymore.
It is not the one I've seen the most, because I've seen this twice, and I think I've watched Prey 3 times.
I've still only watched, and I loved Prey. I think I've still only watched it the one time.
Yeah.
I don't know. I got to revisit them all, I think. That's not an announcement for the show, guys. That's my personal time. Over time, I'm going to revisit them all.
For sure, yeah.
I think this has historically been my favorite of the series, and what I consider to be the best of the series. I'm interested to see if my ranking has changed. So I am probably going to take a little stroll through the franchise again, over time as I can, right? And maybe we'll do some little updates here and there.
We could. Yeah. That's definitely possible
as the show goes along. So,
and maybe there are other people out there that care. So,
yeah, it'll just be, instead of opening the show talking about fucking Hatchet 2, I can talk in the opening show about my thoughts real quickly on my recent rewatch of Predators or something instead.
That's fair.
Yeah. Anyway,
cool.
Any other thoughts on the 1987 classic Predator?
Give me a second to go through my notes, and then I will let you know.
What do you think of the end credits where they all get like their sitcom credit?
I literally wrote in my notes, forgot about the sitcom ass end credits, especially how they won't shut off the tense music while it's happening.
Yeah, and they're all like grinning and goofing off, and like not goofing off, but smiling for the camera and like chuckling, and then Arnold Schwarzenegger's just like frozen with a serious face.
Oh yeah. The one other thing I wanted to mention is that the scene where the Predator takes his mask off. And like we finally get the reveal of like what he looks like under the mask. I wrote in my notes, Jason takes his mask off in this one ass unmasking scene.
Man, the Friday the 13th comparisons just keep coming.
Yeah, just keeps coming, dude.
Yeah. Predator versus Jason X. Let's get it going, studios.
Let's go. Yes. But no, I don't think I really had anything else. Pretty good movie. Definitely has some problems. Definitely has some flaws. But it's a really fun movie. I liked it a lot. And it's definitely the kind of thing that I could see myself watching again.
All right. Here's a question I just thought of.
All right.
Add this just off the top of your head into your ranking of alien movies. Where does it land?
I would put it probably about middle of the pack. I don't think it is good. It is as good as Alien or Alien 3. Because those are my 1 and 2 for the Alien list.
Sure.
And then probably 3 is probably Romulus after that. And then it would be like right around there, give or take. I probably maybe a little bit lower because I don't think I like it quite as maybe I don't know. I like it around the same as Aliens, but I don't know if I like it a little more or a little less.
Okay. I've got the traditional Alien and Aliens at the top, right?
Yeah, most people do.
And then
I recognize I'm the outlier there.
And then I would probably have slotted Predator in before Alien 3, but I think I'm slotting Predator in after Alien 3, after rediscovering Alien 3 doing this podcast.
That's fair.
And how much I actually really enjoy that movie.
Yeah, it's actually good.
Yeah, it's fucking fantastic, and
Yeah.
Sigourney Weaver makes that movie
Like
fucking great.
I do not dislike Prometheus or Covenant as much as other people do, but Predator is a better movie than them. It is a better movie than Resurrection, you know?
Oh yeah, and then I'm putting Predator above the rest of the Alien franchise, Romulus
for
included.
sure. Yeah, that's fine.
Which I also has really grown on me. I was never really down on it, but it's you know improved. But Predator is so if we blend the two franchises together, or if we blend this movie and it's in my top 4, right, of the films.
Yeah. It's probably in my top 4 too. Maybe my top 5, because thinking about it now, I might actually like Prey more than this movie. But those are my 1 and 2, regardless for like the Predator franchise. I don't quite know what order they come in, but my first 2 are definitely Predator and Prey.
Yeah, I'm not sure how I would blanket rank all of the Predator movies in like the whole franchise together. I'm just taking this one on its own and sticking it in the Aliens. Because we're an Alien podcast.
Yeah. I mean, if it's just Alien and then also the addition of Predator, my top 4 would be Alien, Alien 3, Romulus, and Predator in that order, probably.
Nice. I'll take it.
Cool.
All right. I think we did it.
Yeah, I don't think I have anything else to say. I'm good.
Good movie.
Very good movie. Yes, I agree.
Good performances, great monster.
Mm-hmm.
Good premise.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah. Launched a franchise. Launched a major science fiction franchise that is about to get another entry. 38 years later?
It's actually getting 2 sequels because Killer of Killers came out earlier this year.
That's right.
So it actually had 2 movies come out this year alone.
Holy shit. Must be a lot of interest in this franchise. Must be a lot of fans.
Let's hope.
All right, man. I think we should wrap it up here.
Cool.
Kenny, you're on the internet at Cyhobs, CYHOBBEZ.
I sure am.
Where can people find our show on the internet?
Our Twitter is at Crew Expendapod. Our Blue Sky is at Crew Expendable. Our Instagram and our threads are both at Crew Expendable Pod. Our website is crewexpendable.net. Our email is mother@crewexpendable.net. Our YouTube is youtube.com/@crewexpendable. And if you, in the goodness of your heart, want to give us a few bucks, you absolutely can by going to coolerbot.net.
Yes, we really appreciate it if you do that. Thank you so much. Helps keep the
we
lights
want to stress
on.
that we want to stress that you absolutely do not need to, though. It's fine if you just listen to the show for free and that's where it ends with you. That is okay.
Yes.
We are not going to mind even the slightest bit.
We love all of you.
Yeah, like we recognize that any money that might come in through this website is just like a free additional bonus thing that you guys are doing because you feel like. It's no obligation at all.
And we really, really, really are going to be providing you some free additional bonus things as a thank you.
That's the plan, yes.
But we're not ready to announce those yet.
Yeah, it's still in the works, but you'll find out soon enough.
Yes. We will be back next episode to start digging into the Aliens versus Predator miniseries from Dark Horse Comics, 1990, I believe. Now that we're Predator experts after watching the first movie in the series.
That's right, baby.
Hell
That's
yeah.
us.
All the education we need.
Mm-hmm. I mean, to be fair, that's all the Predator content they had up to that point, other than issue 0 of Alien vs. Predator, I guess.
That and the Dark Horse Predator miniseries, but they were writing the rules on that one.
Yeah, exactly. Because again, like the miniseries we're about to be covering only came out 3 years after the first Predator movie came out.
Yep.
So like Predator as a concept was still new, and so they didn't have very much by the time the comic, came out. So
yes. Just a movie and a miniseries that they wrote the rules on, and then another miniseries that they were again writing the rules on.
Yeah, so we'll find out.
That's going to be fun to navigate. Look
For
forward
sure.
to that coming soon. But until then, stick around.
Stick around.